got a new Cardinals mock draft from ESPN. Field Yates has dropped a 2-round NFL mock draft. So we're going to take a look at that and the Cardinals pick specifically on today's show. I welcome everybody into Cardinals Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. And listen, we need some good luck here. Okay, folks? We need this. We need to smash this draft. We need the Cardinals to turn this thing around quickly. If you want that to happen, like this video right now if you want the Cardinals to absolutely smash it in this draft. Don't jinx this. You don't want to be the person that didn't like the video and then the Cardinals draft a bunch of busts and you're like, oh man, I should have gone back and done it. So don't jinx it. Tap the like button if you want the Cardinals to crush this draft, get some studs in Arizona for the foreseeable future. All right, we're going to talk about the first pick from Field Yates, and that is the third pick in the NFL draft. The Cardinals select Arvell Reese, edge out of the Ohio State University. A lot of people split on Arvell Reese, right? A lot of people think, he's a little bit shaky. A lot of people think, oh, he's an absolute stud. He's versatile. So let's talk about him. What Yates had to say specifically is that after Arizona released Kyler Murray, its offseason has signaled that drafting a quarterback is a logical outcome. But the Cardinals are not going to reach for one here. Like the Jets, the Cardinals can add to their recent front seven investments, which include edge rusher Josh Sweat from last free agency. Reese is a unique defensive player in this class, playing a hybrid position at Ohio State as an off-ball linebacker and pass rusher. He's massive, length at 6'4", explosive athletic traits, and major upside if the Cardinals keep him at edge rusher. Reese said at the Combine he hasn't even scratched the surface as a pass rusher, generated 19 pressures on a mere 97 pass rush reps in 2025. So when you think about it, what Arizona needs, Reese does make sense for the Cardinals if he's there, if the Jets don't take him, right? We talk about how the time the head needs an edge. Reese could be a phenomenal edge, but Nick Rallis and how they do things in their 3-4, I mean, you could have Reese drop back into coverage, be an off-ball linebacker. Having that versatility is huge for Cardinals that are trying to figure out who they are, what their system is, right? And I think that versatility specifically makes this pick actually better than I originally had thought for the Cardinals, right? And like I said, he's a total beast, 6'4", 240, and he's only 20 years old, but he's an experienced college football player that can do it all. I mean, best case scenario, it becomes like Micah Parsons for Arizona. So I don't hate it. I don't, as much as originally some Cardinals fans had maybe thought. I actually think Reese could be a productive player here, but given what he could be, given the upside there, he's just an athletic freak, right? I mean, he's just a good athlete. You usually can't go wrong with that. I look at some of his numbers over the past few years in college football, both as a linebacker and an edge rusher. Even last season, he got 6.5 sacks, right? Like, pretty good stuff for Arvell Reese, a guy that can, do both, and I'd be excited to see how Rallis could use him. And you talk about, well, who else could the Cardinals go at 3? Why don't we just get a pure edge? I do worry about David Bailey as a run defender, honestly. I think he's a pure power pass rusher. I think he needs some added elements to his game, change of direction and stuff in the run, or tackling running backs and pulling the edge. Like, I worry about Bailey a little bit in that sense, okay? If you want to just say best player available at that point, well, then that's Sonny Styles, that's Jeremiah Love. But are the Cardinals going to take another running back? I don't know. They had like 3 more that they re-signed and signed in free agency. And Sonny Styles, are you drafting a linebacker that high? 2, 3, 3rd overall? So you could go best player available approach. I think if you're going need approach, I would go Reese. Or personally, my personal pick for the Cardinals is Francis Mauigoa. I think you just get a blue-chip right tackle for years to come here at your biggest need on the offensive line. That's your biggest concern this offseason is fixing the offensive line. So I like Mauigoa. But I would put Reese up there as a target at pick 3 rather than I would some of these other guys. Could also go Ruben Bain if you like him better than Bailey as an edge. But let me know in the comment section, should the Cardinals draft Arvell Reese? Get a letter down below. I want your opinions. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Cardinals fans, do you want Arvell Reese on his football team in 2026? You let me know in that comment section. All right, and the rest of this mock draft, guess what? Trade alert. Field Yates says that the Cardinals trade back into the first round, and they trade with Buffalo to get pick 26. What do they give up? Well, kind of hefty if you look at this. They have to give up their second, obviously. Buffalo moves down about 8 spots, or a little bit more, and then pick 65 and a third in 2027? 2 third-round picks to get back into the first? Well, who are you doing this for? Yates has the Cardinals then selecting Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback, at 26. That is too much for me to give up to get into the first round to draft Ty Simpson, who I'm not even that high on as compared to, well, a lot of other quarterback draft prospects in years past and in years future. Explain yourself here, Field. This is what Yates had to say about this pick and trade up. Arizona can execute its own version of what the Giants accomplished in 2025 when New York landed edge rusher Abdul Carter at 3 and then traded up to take quarterback Jackson Dart at 25. After taking Arvell Reese up top, the Cardinals can land the clear-cut second-best quarterback in this class here, though the early part of the 2025 season, Simpson stood out with his ability to navigate the pocket, throw with accuracy and power when he can set his feet. With Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew on Arizona's depth chart, the team can bring Simpson along methodically. All 15 of his collegiate starts come this past season. Well, when you put it like that, it's not awful. I don't hate Ty Simpson. Let me just clarify. I don't hate him as a player. I don't think he's going to be terrible in this league. I think he is a bit of a game manager. I think it reminds me of Mac Jones. I think he's a little bit of a less athletic Brock Purdy, okay? I think he's that type of player that needs a really perfect system. And then he could be good, sure. But that's a ridiculous haul to trade up and get Ty Simpson, 2/3 and your second this year, to get a guy who might not pan out for you, and then you're drafting a quarterback anyway in 2027? What the heck are we talking about, Field? I'm not in on that. That's too much. That's a lot. And like I said, I don't think Ty is an automatic franchise quarterback for the Cardinals. It might not be your answer, okay? And you're not in the market to give up draft picks if you're Arizona. You're not. You're here to build draft picks and build offensive linemen and get a bunch of studs on this roster, okay? You're not in the market to make a risky trade-up move like this on a quarterback that's unproven and only had, 15 starts in college football, and that was last year. So, to me, I am still thinking about that 2027 draft class. I am still thinking about those quarterbacks there that a lot of people, even Adam Schefter said that a lot of teams are in on this 2027 class, right? I mean, you could get a franchise guy there. Think about it. Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Dylan Raiola probably won't go this year because of the whole Oregon situation, but Jaden Mayava, John Mateer, Brendan Sorsby, Lenora Sellers, Levitt, Sayin, this might be one of the best quarterback classes we've seen in a long time, folks. Why would you trade up your draft capital, including a third in that draft, to get Ty Simpson? This was a miss by Field Yates, in my opinion, okay? I don't love it at all. And listen, if Simpson falls to the Cardinals, it's a different story. Where I'm pissed about it is the trade up, giving up that much for a guy who needs a great system to succeed. For me, the Cardinals, I think, should just stay put and take on offensive linemen if they're going edge early. If you do take Reese, Bailey, Bain at 3, stay put and get a right tackle. There's a lot of good right tackles in this draft, okay? That's what Arizona should do, or vice versa. If you take Maui Noah early, you should be taking an edge here. I don't know why we're talking trade up for Ty Simpson. No. Rather get a quarterback late by staying put too. Nussmeier, Aller, that's a flyer. Now, that's something I could get behind. A first-round pick's a big investment, folks, and I don't think a trade-up for Simpson is the move. So you let me know in the comment section if you agree with me. Sound off. Should the Cardinals trade up for Simpson? T for trade, type D for don't. Let me know in that comment section by typing a letter, T for trade or D for don't. Feel free to elaborate on why you would or wouldn't. That's going to do it for Cardinals Today. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all tuning into the show. I will have plenty more Cardinals content coming your way. So if you're a diehard fan, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.